Greetings and namaste. It's Matt here from Karnak Holistics. I'm here today to speak about the awakening and the dark night of the soul. I'll see you after these few messages. So, welcome back. So, what is the awakening? Now, I've got a lot of messages in regards to this. I wanted to just kind of clear it up and to make it a bit more focused so people can understand what the awakening is and also what the dark night of the soul is and a process. So, let's start with the awakening. Actually, let's start with the dark night of the soul. Now, the dark night of the soul is when your body is, or your spirit is, in a state of transitioning or going through a process of emotional and physical and spiritual change. You hear me say a lot about transformation and transformationing. That's the dark night of the soul. Sometimes it can manifest itself into being a form of depression or an anxiety. Now, obviously, you need to make sure that you don't have either of those because it is a challenging situation and something you need to, or condition that needs to be well looked into, well looked after. So always seek medical help. But the dark night of the soul is when, no matter what you've done, you've got the support, you've had the spiritual blessings, the cleansing, and so on. Sometimes you just need that little bit of guidance and support and push through the right way. Now, sometimes it can manifest in your spirit or in your body, so it can come through, it will affect any of the chakras. So for example, you may have bad stomach for a long period of time. It can manifest into bad backs, it can be manifest into your chest pain, heart pain, obviously your throat or your headaches and so on and so forth, or just a problem if you walking. These now, different changes happen for different reasons, and I always say refer to the chakras for those meanings in order to work through those processes. So the dark night of the soul is when you're feeling so low and you're at a spot where, or a place or a time where you just can't seem to work out why all this stuff is happening, and you're feeling really quite lost, and no matter what you do and who you speak to, and there is no transition happening, you go into meditation, and meditation you talk to your guides are just saying you need to work through this. That's exactly what the dark night of the soul is. It's a situation or a point in your life where you're transitioning, and it's like the darker side of the lighter side. We all need to work through it, and many people hear me say I'm going through a spiritual shift. That's a form of dark night of the soul. That's a small part. The other parts is where you're stuck and it's like you're in quicksand and you just can't get out, and no matter what you try and do or where you try and move forward, it doesn't help you. There's a saying, it's like you're walking and you see 2 foot steps, 2 footprints in the sand, and then as you're walking along it goes into 1 footprint, and then it goes back into 2, and it always seems when it goes into the 1 footprint is when you feel the most alone. Now the reality is that's when God steps forward and God lifts you up and helps you forward and helps you to move through this darker or this transitional time, which is a hard place to be at. I should talk a bit more in depth about the dark night of the soul on another video. The other thing is, in the Bible, it says, one of the Psalms, I think it's Psalms 23, where it says, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for the Lord is with me. That's exactly what the dark night of the soul is. It is when you're in a valley of darkness, and no matter what light you shine, it just penetrates through. And light is stronger than dark, so just remember that. You will pull through it. So what is the awakening? The awakening is for when you arrived, when you've realized your path in life. Now, it doesn't mean you've achieved anything or you've got through it. It means that you've just arrived at your path. Now, when you arrive at your path of your spiritual awakening or your awakening, this is when everything will start making sense. There's a disclaimer. People start to exit your life. People start to have their opinions about you. People start to not really understand who you or understand what you're about. You may not even understand what they're about. More than likely, it'll be you, not really understanding who they are. Now, I always say to people that when you do come through your awakening, it is a beautiful path, and it is. It's amazing. I can't promote it enough, and it is the reason why we're here. But you need to be surrounded by the people that love you, the people that can understand what you're going through and respect you through while you're going through this. Now, when you, again, this is why people say find a spiritual teacher. Now, many times the people I've worked with over the years I've worked with them, and they've gone through this transformation, it's just to know that if they have a pitfall or a situation, I can't help them through it. I can help, like I say, I can help them through it, but I can't walk through it for them. I can only guide them. Can they be there in that moment to support them? But the reality is, it's down to them in order to move forward. The other point is that when you have the right people around you, the right teachers, they can show you what the end process is about, or why you arrived at, and different points of your transition. Now, be aware there are negative people who will try, or false prophets who will try and control you, and because you are in that vulnerable state. But yet you're in an empowered state, but these people will try and discourage you, and then try and say that you've changed, you've got really negative, and so on and so forth. What it is, your rails, or your rail lines, or tram lines, whatever you want to call them, have changed. You're going along with see certain people, then you may verge off as they keep going off. So where you may have known it for many, many years, and over a period of time, obviously when you come through this spiritual change, you go to meditation, you go to retreats, you mix with all the spiritual people, and there are good energies around you. People who do the normal days living, or live as a normal life, may not understand you, but they may do because they love you. Now, my best friend, she's part spiritual. She doesn't go to retreats, but she gets me. She respects what I do, respects where I'm going. She respects my shifts. I'll probably call her up sometimes, being the most moodiest person going, but she just knows that she would always be there, and she's been there with me for the last probably getting on 20 years now. And that's my best friend Denise, and I would always love and respect the woman because she has been through so much, and she's part of me. Now, also your partner is important that they understand what you're about, and it's not necessarily about you and them that the issue is, though despite you may be going through this awakening and you could be quite agitated, and the ones who are closest to you, normally the ones that really irritate you, to be fair, to be blunt, but don't take that as that they shouldn't be there. You know, I said before, sometimes it's a test. No, let me rephrase that. Sometimes it's a strengthening of your relationship. It's to see, and you pointing out different changes that could and make things different for you to shift forward, and for both of you to work together. This is when sometimes relationships go different ways. Now, it is important that your partner and you understand that this is about your journey and also their journey, because you two working together and realizing who you both are, you know, you're great amazing people. And the reality is your relationship, or your connection with spirit or with the creator, is different to theirs, but you are both praying or working with the same energy. So if it's the same, he will keep the levels the same way. And there were going to be bumps in the road. It's just like you two staying true and communicate. That's what's important. That's important about any relationship, I should say, friends or family. Communication. Let them know how you're feeling, what you're going through, and they will see your change. And if they love you, sometimes they don't understand, so they need to step back. That's fine. More people come in order to help grow you to the next level. So, one of the things people ask me, why does this happen? I would say, why shouldn't it? We are a spirit having a human existence. So when you arrive down here on Gaia, on Mother Earth, uh, we all were born, whether you came through the canal or whether you were brought out or through cesarean, we all did the same thing. We all cried. We all embraced life. And what happens is like everything we do as we grow spiritually and humanity through humanity, we are building ourselves as a unique individual. Now, this person you see here is me. Obviously, you can see me, but it's not really me, as you can tell. As you may have seen if you've seen The Secret, I'm not this person. This person's a manifestation of me that my mind and my spirit is projecting, and that projection is what the creator or I seek to have. So have you heard saying, well, it's your own fault, you call this upon you? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is that where you're at the moment is where you can shift it and change it. Right now, the size I am is my choice. You know, if you eat bad foods, you don't exercise, shit happens. If you do and you work out, you train, you stay healthy, you get better. Sometimes you could exercise and really watch what you eat and not lose a lot of weight. Now, that's different. That's another entity. That's based around your body mass and obviously about what you as a spirit wanted to be when you were here. You wanted to be the bigger version. Maybe in your former life you was a smaller version. Either way, God loves you no matter what you do. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is can you not be ready for the awakening? I've heard this a lot. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Well, yes, you are. And you may not be prepared. Being ready and not being prepared is two different things. When you're not ready is that you retreat and run away. When you're not prepared, you just go into this flutter and you get kind of lost and confused. Now, when you're prepared and you're ready, and when you're prepared, you can start to not handle everything. You can start to manage these changes, than opposed to running from these changes. When you're not quite ready and you're scared, we hit a fight and flight. So we just panic. We see all our fears, and we just think. And survival comes in, and then we run, either hide under a rock or we retaliate. We go out to charge, or we just go into our ball. That's called fight or flight. Now that can shift. That depends on you. Reality is, it's just stand, stay hold, meditate, focus, take a step back. You've heard it saying, and look at what you can do to move out of this. And I will do another video about this, or leave comments below if you are stuck in that situation right now. I can give you some hints and tips, as I'm a transformational coach. Now, the fourth point I wanted to talk about, what's the difference between the dark night of the soul and awakening? Well, it's kind of like a story, really. Dark night of the soul is where you're going along and you've kind of missed your train, and it's dark, it's lonely, and you think all the fears kick in, and you don't know what's going to happen to you. You're alone on this platform. You think the worst case scenario, big wolves or some big beast is going to come out of the bushes and eat you. But the reality is, you think you're going to fight or flight. You panic. That's when you start tensing up, getting really worried, and get really into a panic. And what you do, you should just step into yourself and go, okay, what do I need to do? You check the next time, so for example, using this train analogy, check the next time when the next train's going to be, and obviously as you're running through, you may find if there's someone you've seen as you passed through the ticket hall, or you can find somewhere safe that you can be until the next train comes, or you can make a phone call to let people know what your situation is. This is the awakening, when you've awoken and you start thinking about your next phase of action. That's the awakening. So the awakening is when you rise up at this negativeness, and you transform from the dark side of you. The other part of the dark night of the soul would be you break up with a partner and you're alone. You're lost. My world's coming to an end. I'm going to die, and all the rest of it. And you've known this person since the dawn of time, and they know you, and all that stuff. We've all been through it. We've all seen it. Then what happens is someone comes along, a friend comes along. There's always one. He says, "Oh, man up. There's going to be someone else. You'll be out next weekend and find someone better or special." It's normally what happens is that sometimes with relationships, for example, when you're in that state or you're in a dark night of the soul, you go into the lost, and I'm alone, and I'm just not worthy. When you awaken, you realise that the person was not good for you. They were a pain in the ass, or they were probably cheating on you anyway, or they were probably spending money or something or another. You start seeing. That's called the awakening. You start seeing the light. That's where the word "I've seen the light" comes from. That's from the awakening. Now, the final point I want to point out was that do you feel lost when you're in the awakening? It's not lost. It's more of finding direction. And when you're walking along the path, you're always going to have people with you, whether it's physical or spiritual. They're always going to be there to support you when you're in this awakening, for example. And when you may feel alone in a crowd, that is when you see, you notice stuff around you. And that's when you start, don't panic, don't stress out. Look up, reassess yourself, put it out there, and say to the Creator, "Look, I need help. I'm alone. I need guidance." And it will come through. It will come through as a message. It will come through as a feeling. It will come through as something, but it will come through. I always say this, and they always say this about the negative side. The devil looks after his own. Bullcrap. God always looks after his own. He always protects, and those who seek Him will find Him. So, yeah, don't be afraid. So I hope that makes sense about the dark night of the soul and the awakening and the difference and how they can merge together. I think I need to get a bit more in depth and give a lot more examples so you can really root into this and where you fit in to this process. It's an amazing journey, but don't feel that you're ever alone, because you're not. And just stay true, stay blessed, and stay safe. Namaste, and I'm always here.